can you guys start off by introducing yourselves?
I'm Colin Caulfield.
Ben Newman. That's yours.
I'm Andrew Ben.
I'm Cole Smith.
What is your guys' band name?
Diiv.
Alright guys, so we're gonna start really simple. How'd you guys all meet?
All separately, I guess.
Yeah, we got it.
There you go.
I met Cole at, what do they call it? Something classroom, nature's classroom. Orientation for freshman year of high school. And then we went to high school for like a year, like a week, before he got expelled. But we stayed friends. And then you met Colin, where at?
I met Colin at the Shubas.
It was Shubas, yeah.
Yeah, Shubas in Chicago. Colin's old band that I was a fan of was playing. And I don't know, I just liked you.
I grew up in the Twin Cities and Cole had lived in Minneapolis, and so we just started talking, and we both like guitar music. Yeah, we talked for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then we hung out like one other time before you were like, you want to join the band?
So we went to that, would you go to that Trash Talk show where people were like jumping off the 3rd floor?
Yeah, we went to Trash Talk show at the Subterranean, and Odd Future was opening.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
It's crazy.
And yeah, people were jumping off the balcony, and like 2 kids walked out with broken ankles.
Yeah,
Like bone out.
people were trying, they like wanted to stage dive, but it was so high they got scared, so they straightened out and went feet first into like people. And yeah, people were like breaking, somebody had a compound fracture.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Wow.
And then,
Good stuff.
did you say?
Cole was in a band called Soft Black. I was in a band called Werewolves, and we used to play shows together in New York all the time, and then we went on a couple tours together, and that's how we met.
Yeah. Yeah, Werewolves. The greatest band of all time.
Yes,
Yeah.
greatest band of all time. You heard it here first.
Did you guys ever think you were gonna even like experience this type of like success? You guys almost have like 500,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. Do you, like as kids, what were you guys thinking your future was gonna be like?
As a kid, I thought we were gonna have like 600,000. Yeah, I mean, you guys should answer that. When I joined the band, there was already a good bit of success going, so I was like, cool, want to step into this?
Yeah, no, we definitely, we started the band to play like a show. We wanted to play one show at one place, and then we did play that show, and it was really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like when we were in high school, Bailey was the really good guitar player who was like really good. I was like, damn, I'll never be that good. So then
You got better.
we both got better.
Playing classical gas or what?
Yeah, he was playing wild shit. Like Beethoven.
No, I was gonna play for the Yankees. You know how that goes. But yeah, no, like Cole said, I didn't think anything. When I joined Diiv, I had just already decided to quit music and like, get a real job. And he was like, yo, play these shows. I heard you quit your band. You know, like, come play some shows with me. And I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do that this summer and then get a job in the fall. And that never happened.
Wow. So what do you guys think, like, your music transcends, like, different type of cultures? Like, watching, like, a video where these people from Indonesia are talking about your band. How do you think you guys got all the way out there? And
I don't know, it's kind of mind-blowing, but I think that there's something about our music that's like, it's not really about the lyrics, really. There's this some other thing. I feel like it works well internationally. Somebody in China did a really good description. Do any of you remember what they said? I don't either. It was like,
I wasn't there, my appendix exploded.
I have a question. Do you guys ever rap over your own music?
Yeah,
I do, yes.
You do?
Yeah.
I guess.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I do. It's hard. There's not a lot of songs that lend themselves to the type of rapping that I know how to do. But I've heard other people do it much better. Like make trap beats out of it. Have you heard that?
I think it's kind of weird that like Andrew, like I was watching all these like in my bag like the Diiv videos, and every album was coming out was like some rap or hip hop album, and then everybody else is bringing some like ambient or some like shoegaze. And it's just out of the box.
Because they were like, you get to keep these things. Like it was free. And I have a CD player in my car.
Only like 3 of them were free, but
It's like $100.
No, we had a certain amount of money to spend.
Oh,
And
yeah.
y'all were getting vinyls.
Yeah.
And I went to the like $10 CD rack because I got a CD player in my car. I don't got a aux cord. So I was hooked. I'm still listening to those CDs.
Alright, so you guys currently live in LA, right? Most of you are in Southern California, okay? So like, what do you guys see the differences between like New York or like the East Coast from LA? It must be very different. I mean, in terms of music.
Don't listen to that one.
I mean,
no,
New York and LA are
yeah.
like almost opposites in as far as like, I don't know what you call it, civil engineering or city planning or whatever. New York is like very dense, packed city, and LA is like the most spread out you could possibly be. And so that like creates different cultures. So
that's for sure true. I think there's something about New York that we love that we like did find in LA a little bit, like a scene of like, you know, people got the like scene that we were part of got kind of priced out or something, just kind of disintegrated, and we did find something similar in LA, which was surprising. And it still exists in New York, but just not the same people that we knew, really.
I think we like
It's sunny.
our music makes, and we even as people in certain senses make more sense as like a New York band, but ultimately it just like, and Bailey maybe has something to say about this, but it fucking, you know, sucks to live there, especially to be in a band there.
To live in New York or
Yeah, or at least like, you know,
We're
we
just
did
like old now.
we did it for a long time, and it feels like we don't have to do it anymore. Because it's like, just logistically, it's much more difficult. We have more space in LA. We have like our own practice space, and like,
All right, point, counterpoint.
No, I would just say that I strongly prefer New York.
really? Why is that?
That's all I was gonna say.
you don't have to say shit about LA, you can just say good things about New York.
Well, yeah, but all right. What did Colin say?
Some bullshit, don't
It's a
worry.
counterpoint, right? Oh yeah, no, that we're like that we don't have to do it anymore. I would much rather be living in New York. And mainly because I stuck around longer than them, and so like I know people in the newer scene, and like am vaguely a part of it when I'm in New York, and like my girlfriend still lives there, and I go there all the time and stuff. So like my kitty cat lives there. You know. So like my heart is still in New York, but I'm doing my best to appreciate Los Angeles despite all its many flaws.
I didn't like that answer. So what are you guys' thoughts? You guys spent enough time in LA to know about Burger Records and the following of Burger Records. What do you guys think that has? Like, that had a huge ripple effect on like the music industry, especially like the indie scene, which you guys are in. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I think it's terrible. I think, you know, that scene was predatory, and that's the way they set it up, and that's the culture from the top to the bottom, and, I don't know, that's all I gotta say about that, I guess.
yeah. Also, that exact scene is the thing that I think all of us collectively despise about LA, and why in my mind we're a lot more akin to like some sort of New York feeling, because like that shit does happen in New York, but not in the same way it happened with Burger, which was just like
It's systematic.
Yeah.
I have a question. Do you think that like relates to Hollywood in any sense? That like, you know, what happened to Burger Records, was that like a parallel of like how LA was before in another entertainment industry?
I don't think so, because the garage rock scene in LA was like pretty.
All their parents are like probably Hollywood actors and shit.
Yeah, maybe. but it kind I don't know, it's just scummish to me. It's like the difference between the east side of LA and the west side of LA is like pretty stark. And like I don't get west side vibes from the burger scene. I get kind of like, you know, either like, you know, crusty, people who grew up in Orange County, or like these like rich kids like moonlighting as like, you know, crusty musicians.
Right, and they're really just like sex press.
Yeah. But you know, that's not what, you know, we moved to LA for. We moved to LA and we kind of didn't really dip our toes at all into like a music scene that already existed. Like Cole was saying, we found like-minded bands that were also kind of like floating around there. And the scene that we're a part of now is kind of something that we like kind of made ourselves a little bit.
Do you think your scene is like still growing in Los Angeles, or has it like reached like its max? Because like we have all these bands out there that are creating the same type of music, but you guys are like keeping something like, you know, like fairly simple, but it's still growing out there. Do you guys think like it's maxed out, or is it still growing?
No, music scenes are just always in flux of dying and being reborn, and new people coming and people moving away, and especially in, you know, we live in an age of like economic fluctuation and disease and all that shit. You know, shit's gonna come and go, and I don't think any scene lasts forever, especially in LA.
Also, the whole idea of like being part of a scene that's like coming up and everything is like a distinctly like youthful experience, and I think it's not like we're like old to the point that we're not making interesting music anymore, but we're not gonna find ourselves in like the new burgeoning scene. Our goal now is to like focus on like being Diiv and like working on our band. You know what I mean? Like the thing that like this kind of like organic springing up of like new like exciting bands and everything. That is like the job of like young people, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I think we do have a role in like you know, supporting younger new bands.
Yeah, for sure.
Helping people out and working on their stuff and bringing them out on the road and stuff.
Yeah,
so I think there are a lot of
makes
cool
sense.
new bands that we're excited about that, you know, if we can help a little bit, we're down. You know.
Yeah, you guys should check out Heat Death.
Yeah. Was that the one that just was that any of the openers today?
No. Oh, sorry. Yeah, check out Heat Death. Like, you know, like heat, like hot.
Like the heat death of the universe.
Right, like what's gonna happen in like a trillion years.
Or maybe next week, who knows?
That would be... No, not that kind of heat. It's the opposite. It gets really cold. It's the death of heat.
Oh.
Yeah, like all the particles in the universe, because the universe is expanding so fast, all the particles are eventually going to be so far apart from each other that they can never interact.
Also, did you know that when you turn on a radio, like what you listen to is like the radioactivity from the beginning of the universe?
Yeah, it's what's it called? I've listened to it like
Background radiation?
Yeah, the microwave background. Yeah, there's a lot of secrets in that. And yeah, when you turn on the TV,
Secrets.
it's the snow that you see when you turn on the TV.
Oh, yeah.
That's literally a picture of the beginning of the universe. Except you're seeing it like not translated from radio.
You're seeing it through a cathode ray.
Yeah. But have you seen...
What kind of TV do you have, bro?
Cathode.
Just on...
Andrew WK's first band was called Cathode. Or not first band, but he played drums in Bangkok, in a hardcore band.
Have you heard the theory that he doesn't exist? Yeah, there's a theory Andrew WK doesn't exist.
No, he exists. I met him.
Well, there's people who play the character of Andrew WK.
That's just a simulation.
That it's like a bunch of different people.
Nah, he's...
I thought so too.
That's the Shakespeare.
Yeah.
It's the Truman Show.
So you guys recently left your last record label. Do you guys think you're gonna move on to another one, or do you, with everything that's at your disposal now, as like musicians, and especially now in 2021, you're able to record in your own bedroom or even just finance everything to yourself? Do you guys see a necessity in getting a new label or signing anytime soon?
I think that's a really good question,
It
actually.
is. Well, and it's pertinent to us Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really like leave the label. We just our contract ran up. But I think that there is something to your question about like what are record labels, who needs them, what is like what are they to the artist, you know? And like are they like do we need them? You know, I don't know. I think that our record label did a lot for us early on because it was part of it. That was like what put us in the scene, and they, you know, did a lot for us. But I think that as you change as an artist, your needs from the label change, and I think probably there's a ton of people out there who don't need a label at all.
Yeah, we might put something out ourselves, but to me, I think a label is like a curator and like a kind of like what you're talking about with like a music scene. It's kind of that. So it's not like, oh, you get signed and they give you a bunch of money and you just, you know, it's your life is easy after you get a record deal. Like that doesn't exist anymore, except for real specific types of musicians. But for us, it's more like, is there something cool that we align with that, you know, shares our values and has other cool bands or whatever?
You want to ask someone?
Yeah, sure. Well, you know, you were talking about being older, you know, and making music, and like being from SF, like something I wanted to ask you guys is like, you know, tech world is huge right now. Silicon Valley is like where that comes from, and I just want to know, like, what do you think about tech evolution? What do you think is going to preserve us as humans?
Straight up.
Anarcho-primitivism.
What does that mean?
I got it out.
Primitivism.
Anarcho-primitivism. I still can't say it. Primitivism.
Like rejecting hierarchies, and all hierarchies, especially like capitalist ones that are built around like, you know, I think tech industry is just fucking garbage, and
It's like this fake utopian bullshit that's like, we're gonna solve all the problems, but it doesn't. It's just like a select group of people getting super rich.
yeah, they're like it's like socialism, except we own everything instead of like the people owning
Yeah, they
everything.
they just had the World Economic Forum and they straight up said that. They were like,
Yeah.
we will own everything and we'll just run it.
Well, they didn't say we will own everything. They said you will own nothing and you'll be happy.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of techno-fascists masquerading as like progressives, and it's fucking, it's like, it's evil.
Yeah, it's so sad. And like, have you guys heard of iPad kids?
No, but it sounds...
Sounds bad, right? Yeah, I mean, it's just like kids who've been on their iPads ever since they're born. So it's like,
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, personally, it's something I look out for because it's like, you got to change
You
that.
see it especially in restaurants. I mean, which makes sense. If you're a parent, your kid's screaming, throw the iPad in front of them.
It's too easy.
Yeah.
I don't blame them, but...
I don't have kids, so I don't know.
Give them a crayon. Like, oh, this drum sound from this like 70s krautrock record is cool, or like, I feel like maybe it's just because we're writing and recording, we're like hyper focused on like the details. Yeah, I don't know.
I think you've caught us in flux a little bit, where we're like making a new record right now, but we're trying to figure out what kind of record we want to make. So we're like listening to a lot of different stuff. And like when we made Deceiver, we had like a pretty like condensed, like somewhat cohesive playlist of music that was like really influencing what we wanted to do. We haven't quite gotten there in terms of the references.
And so, speaking about music and listening to music, are you guys streaming your music like on Spotify or Apple Music? Like, what is your opinion on like streaming service like that? Like, you have a very cheap streaming service, like what, $9 a month?
Yeah.
How much money are artists making?
Right.
per
I mean,
play?
they make like, you know, 1/100th of a cent per stream, but there are platforms like Bandcamp that are better. I don't know. Yeah, I think the streaming platforms are a shitty business model that are designed to exploit artists and treat art as like a commodity that they can just use to sell whatever the thing is that they're selling. If it's Apple, they're selling phones or iPads or whatever. If it's Spotify, they're selling the tech of their algorithm system. So it's all the work of artists is just like a library to them. It's not like they don't want to compensate artists, they don't want to pay artists, they don't give a shit about artists. It's just this library that they've managed to have, and they just use it to sell their own shit and funnel all the money to the top.
Is there any way you guys you guys think like artists can fix that? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think ideally some type of public streaming library, like an actual socialized streaming service would be a really cool way. But I think there's a lot of ways of, at least there are better alternatives like Bandcamp or buying physical stuff from people who are going to shows or supporting artists. But yeah, I don't know. They kind of have a monopoly, So the alternatives are tough. It's just like you kind of have to use it.
there's no other choice.
There's not a lot of choice.
Because ideally, Spotify would buy the record from you because they're making a lot of money from having that huge library. So our record is a valuable commodity to them. But at the same time, if we were like, yo, buy this from us, they'd be like, no, fuck you, we don't need it. So there's nothing that we can do with this model at all.
What if it was something like an NFT, where you guys have like NFTs for like each album, and you guys just sell it to people?
No.
Scam.
No.
Is that a scam?
Pyramid scheme.
A vinyl record.
No, it's not vinyl, it's digital, it's an MP3.
I like that.
Or you can buy MP3s too.
I'll sell you an NFT of the record after.
I'll resell that.
I got the link.
Okay, sick. It's fine. I still get my profit. I mean, yeah, I think. I don't have to.
I mean, I think, to be clear, we all use Spotify. Like it's there. They've really done a terrible good job at being the place to listen to music, and it's real convenient. And there's good things about it, but I don't know. We've talked about it a bunch. I don't want to talk about it too much, but I think something specifically disgusting is the top. When you press play on an album, it shuffles the songs. I think that's sinful. That's
I think it's a fucking psyop to straight up destroy the album as a format because they only want you to listen to their algorithmic playlist because that's the tech they create. So they're like, you have to listen to these algorithm playlists that are like chill vibes or chill moods or whatever, which is just all bullshit. But by destroying the album, then they'll force people to only listen to. So I think it's deliberate.
Well, it's definitely deliberate. It's bad though.
It is bad.
It's not even that it's bad or that this is a thing of making money or capitalism. It's disrespectful to artists. It's we made the thing. We spend a lot of time on Deceiver. We spend a lot of time figuring out what order to put the songs in. And to just be no, it's gonna shuffle every time you press play, that's fucked.
I was gonna say, records, you have to listen to the whole thing through to hear the song you wanted. You got the whole story, you got the whole picture. You held the cover art in your hands. So, don't you think people should go back to that?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of
return to monkey.
Yeah.
Reject technology.
Yeah, we're old, so we like that. The album.
But where's the convenience in that? Listening to music, you're gonna carry around a CD player or you're gonna carry around a cassette tape.
Yeah, I mean,
how do you make that convenient?
I don't think everything needs to be convenient, But I think I'm not saying that the vinyl is the ultimate thing. I'm saying a socialized streaming service is the thing, and that is when it's worker owned and artist owned, and that's something that is sustainable and convenient too.
And for the record, you can walk around with a CD player.
Yeah, you can come. It's still a Discman with a Discman, but I feel I
used to jog with a CD player in my hand.
Remember when the Walkmans, they had that. They had the promotion. It's anti-skip.
Yeah, exactly. You could punch the shit.
Yeah. You could go.
I didn't have that one, so it was tough. I had to squeeze.
Yeah, dude, did you?
Yeah, you know about that.
Yeah, I did that.
I think a CD collection is cool though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
On Bandcamp, you can buy MP3s and then store them in your phone the same way.
Yeah.
There's alternatives. It's like you can do both too. Like I use Spotify and I buy records.
Yeah, I was like,
That's right. I've listened to MP3 players before Spotify existed.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like the
I mean,
iPod.
like, we had this beautiful thing for a minute. We had Napster, and we had this, like, straight up, it was, like, public, it was, like, you know, peer-to-peer, decentralized, like, basically, like, a fucking anarchist,
Yeah, but it
distribution
kind of
model.
led to Spotify in a way.
Exactly.
No, but it didn't. Spotify's whole, the reason they exist is to be, like, anti-piracy. They, like, wanted to destroy the, like, peer-to-peer sharing, and so they're like, it has to funnel through us. But we had a beautiful thing
But there
for a
wouldn't
minute.
have
They
been
destroyed it.
Spotify if Napster hadn't done it.
Yeah, there would.
You think so?
What happened to iTunes? I used to buy my music off iTunes
there.
a lot
Still
too.
there.
Still there.
It is, yeah, I know, but like it was the thing
Yeah.
though for a
Yeah.
while too.
You could like burn a CD on your.
Yeah, and put it on the or your CD or an iPod.
It was like the middleman. They're just waiting to get Spotify.
Exactly. It was the port.
And then last question. So basically, I don't know if you want to call it Bandicoot or we can't see an end, but with things starting to like pick up a little bit, this is you guys your first like public show in 2 years, like you said. What do you guys see yourself? Do you guys see yourself like handling like touring differently now than before? Do you guys see it as something that you need to do? You had like a 2-year break. Do you see it as something you still want to keep going and keep doing as a large scale, or do you want to like calm it down a little bit?
I mean, I think the reality is that musicians need to tour to make money, and, you know, Spotify isn't paying the bills or whatever, so we have to tour, but there is something interesting about playing a show after 2 years. It feels different, and I feel like there's maybe a moment for people to rethink what shows are like, or something, or for us to rethink. And it felt very weird to play a show.
Yeah, and I don't know. I would like to get back to the kind of full-on touring thing, but I don't know if we feel the need to immediately do that. But it's just hard to say because, you know, we really got our hearts broken over the past couple of years of having to cancel shows and then cancel them again and then whatever. So I'm not super keen to be like, yeah, let's just like fucking dive right back in. So we'll see, but like, yeah, I wanna tour for sure.
What did you think of the energy tonight during the concert?
It was great.
Oh yeah, really, really great. Yeah.
Good.
Was that exciting?
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking crowd surfers and shit.
I actually didn't see the crowd surfers, but I mentioned that it was like the perfect show back because it was like crowd was excited, but it was like casual.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like we were like just hanging out a little bit.
I felt like I'm the audience too.
I told Baby that I really liked your guys' set list tonight. I've seen you guys like 20 times and probably, and you guys had a good mix of songs. I liked it.
Nice.
Felt fresh.
Nice.
Felt good.
Nice.
I was gonna say, sorry, like COVID or not, like people are gonna push you around. Like music cannot stop people from doing that. You know, and people get upset, they push you. It's nice to have like, you know, people kind of want the same thing, because then it's just like natural. But yeah, like COVID's not gonna stop humans from like listening to music.
Cool.
Thanks, yo.
Yeah, of course.
Thank
Yeah,
you
that's
so much.
cool.
I appreciate it, guys.